Okay, so I've been looking at my news feed at some of the I've been looking at my news feed at some of my old participants who, yes, have lost like 70 pounds because they were extremely overweight. But now that you've lost the weight, now you must pack on the GMO, the bioengineered foods, get off of the J juice, like seriously, get off the J juice and pack on the insulation. Like seriously, pack on the insulation. You're gonna need the adipose fatty tissue to help you deal with this piezoelectric environment. Being underweight and being looking like what they look like on TV or in the movies is not going to cut it anymore. Looking like an emaciated model is not going to cut it anymore. Being underweight is not going to cut it anymore. Having the six pack and the abs and all the muscles are not going to fucking cut it anymore. Now people must insulate. The the electricity is so highly it is so highly electrified out there that yes, people are glitching like a mother effer. Like seriously. I'm finally feeling amazing. I did drink us some coffee. If you guys are having issues with getting the poop out, then drink coffee. Okay? You really have to pack on the pounds now, you guys. It's fine that you lost weight. Now you know you can control your weight through the J juice, but it's not losing the weight. Now it's packing on the pounds and getting the insulation. And it's going to be insane as far as feeling all your symptoms. You have to feel symptoms now. You can't wash them away with J juice. You can't. Money is not that. I mean, we need money, yes, but you don't need that much money to where it sacrifices your body, mind, and spirit. Like, seriously. That's why I tell you guys, cut down your expenses so you don't have to keep upholding this freaking lifestyle that is just doesn't make a difference. It won't. Okay, your life is so much more important than that Birkin bag. Your life is so much more important than that real estate deal. Your life is so much more important than that that trip. Your life is so much more important than going to that freaking ball game. Your life is so much more important than everything that you have come to know to think that it's like some kind of status. And just, and going off grid is not going to help you. Do you realize that the winds of the west and the winds of the east and the winds of the north and the winds of the south carry all the different viruses? And guess what? They're in the pollen. They're in the spores. All the viruses that are so different are in everything that can be a host, that can be used, yes, in the vectors, because every virus needs a host. Every virus needs a host. And so this is some pretty serious stuff. Like, I realized that with the J juice, it definitely helped people bring up everything. Okay, and then you know that you can deal and understand the symptoms are nothing to be afraid of. You can survive them as long as you're eating the food supply. But if you're eating organic, it's not gonna help you. If you're mitigating food out of your diet, it's not gonna help you. If you are taking the prescription drugs and if you're taking all the different remedies out there, it's not gonna fucking help you. I can just imagine right now somebody right now in their home, surrounded by their Theraflus, their acetaminophenes, all their different vasodilators and vasoconstrictors, and all of their different herbs, thinking it's going to help them. No, it's not. It's going to take you down several notches. Your first line of defenses are already down. Your second line of defenses are going to be triggering at some point. And then your third line of defense is you're not going to understand your third line of defense. And so when you get cancer, when you get disease and chronic illness and autoimmune disorders, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go back to the holistic system, back to the allopathic system, and start taking out organs. You're going to start redirecting the energy. You're going to start doing things that are going to take you down even notches further and further and further. And right now, it's not going to help you. And so now you have to understand how all this stuff works. And if you don't, you're not going to know at what point that major payload, whether it's the winds from the east and the west and the north and the south, then give you such an electrical force that your body can't handle it. And how many of you, how many of you have predispositions in your heart? You have a weak heart, you have weak lungs, you have weak brain, you have a weak vital organs. How many of you are going to then suffer some kind of piezoelectric force that's going to be so much more than your body can handle? Because you've adopted the holistic allopathic ways of doing stuff. Taking down your first lines of defense and your second lines of defense. Leaving you no other option for a third line of defense. And then by that time it's too late. Because guess what? You're not going to want to deal with healing when you are, and the pain when you are dealing with cancer. And that's why people get taken down notches and notches whenever they get radiation and they get chemotherapy. Not only do they age faster, but then they are susceptible to more of the growth out there because you can't get away from the viruses. They produce growth. And so, oh my God. So now you have to deal with the first line of defense. You have to get your diaphragm coughing up stuff. You have to exercise your freaking diaphragm. If you're using J juice to disappear your symptoms, you're no different than the allopathic holistic. And I told you, pain is freaking healing. I told you, pain is healing. And those that don't want to deal with pain, you're not going to be able to handle the next new world. You're not. And so now that you've lost the weight, it's time to pack on the pounds, and pack on the pounds in a way that makes sense. Because now you need the insulation. Prior to the COVID, we can afford to be skinny, emaciated, and look like a freaking model with a six-pack, playing the yoga and playing the meditation, playing the drum circles. Not any freaking more. Now it's about the Greek gods and their Rubenesque bodies with definitely some fat on you. With a little bit of muscle, but more fat on you. And if you can't deal with that, you're not going to survive the next world. I'm serious. Bye.